Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
People over 35, what's something you genuinely miss that younger generations will probably never experience? The excitement of your new favorite song playing on the radio or MTV. Or waiting to hear at the top 9 at 9 on the local radio station. Calling into the radio station and waiting to hear if they play you talking to the DJ. When everyone watched a TV show at the same time in their individual households and then came together to talk about it the next day. Pre-streaming services days. Commercials still sucked, but there was something magical about it. Commercial breaks were the signal start to a race to the bathroom or to get snacks from the kitchen. They were no fun with how they broke up the movie show you were watching, but I kind of miss the urgency and challenge of it. Fret not. They're coming soon to all your favorite streaming services. Internet before corporate got hold of it. Was truly a Wild West era. I miss when internet fandom communities were built around teenage nerds who knew HTML and how to open a GeoCities domain. Edit, since this is getting attention, any other young artists remember Oaxacas? Smiling face with tear. Yeah, remember the guest books and page counters. Nostalgia. Yes, and particularly forums. I've still got IRL friendships that began on forums in the early I'll see that and raise you. I married someone I met on an AOL forum, then spent time with on MUDs, IRC, and Usenet. Had to take a leap of faith and a Greyhound cross-country to meet in person. We recently celebrated our 20th anniversary. And we're not the only ones. That feeling of not being watched, recorded. Yes, live before camera phones. You could get up to shenanigans as teenagers and not have to worry about it being recorded and then shared around the world. Think about all the time how teens are so different these days for this many reasons, but this reason is so huge. Finding a magazine with something you love on it, a band or an actor or whatever. Now if you love something you can immediately consume every piece of media on that thing, which is also cool, but I'll always miss turning the corner at the grocery store and seeing that Spin is doing an all-punk issue, or the Rolling Stone issue after Hunter Thompson died, and being like fuck yes. Edited to ad, and the smell. The ink plus the paper and the perfume samples, incredible. Life without social media. I honestly can't think of a net positive outcome of the invention of social media. It has tainted so many aspects of life. If it stayed as extended yearbooks online, it would be fine. Instead they're ad platforms geared towards profit. Slamming the phone down to end a phone call. The ultimate way to end the call. We didn't have to pay an exorbitant amount of money for concert tickets. Mid-90s Metallica tickets were under $30. I think I paid $20 to see Megadeth in '98. Probably about the price of a shitty beer at a venue now. Paid $15.95 at box office to see Rick Springfield in 1985. No other fees. Kept the ticket stub in my high school yearbook. Things built to last. More than that, things were built to be fixed. We joke so much about how Gen Z doesn't know how to fix anything, but they've literally never owned anything they could fix themselves. Literally every single thing is use and throw. How are they supposed to learn? I remember in the 90s taking my boombox apart, finding out that a few cogs had chipped teeth, riding my bike to the neighborhood store, finding the right cog in a giant box of cogs and then fixing the boombox. It was a fun summer afternoon. I'm pretty good at fixing stuff, but I can't do anything if my phone breaks now. Or even my car. You need specialized tools for a fucking oil change. Seriously, you can't get on the younger generations for not trying to fix things when manufacturers have been going out of their way to make everything non-user serviceable for probably 30 years now. It used to be a reason to avoid a brand or product, now it's ubiquitous. There's no damn reason for my air filter to require a security head Torx bit, but here we are. Remember when you used to be able to get clothes that would last 10, 15, even 20 years? And not just the high-end boutique stuff, either. You could get a cheap band tee at the mall in high school and still wear it on your 30th birthday. Cheap polyester fabrics that fall apart after 12 washes, no linings, unfinished edges, even fabric not cut on the bias. It's hard to find clothes these days that are actually constructed properly. People always say this, but the medium-end clothing I buy lasts just fine. I've never had a shirt fall apart in the wash. Been wearing the same jeans and shorts for years now. Maybe occasionally a seam comes out or something. Like, is this a real thing? Question mark. Being able to be unreachable. It's hard to really get alone time or time to relax when you have a phone in you all the time and you can always be reached. Yes, and along with this, if you say you're going to meet someone somewhere you can't bail at the last minute. Like if you make a commitment you gotta stick with it, BC the other person wouldn't be able to be reached to cancel. Not being addicted to a phone. It was a meme that teenage girls were addicted to talking on the phone and would fight the family for it. And later whoever was using the modem. Fancier houses had multiple lines. The feeling. All felt different before the internet came. Hell, even the old internet felt wildly different. If there was a website dedicated to something, it was a passion project and there was exactly zero profit motive involved. Yes, I agree to that. The time before 2005, the early internet smelled and tasted like unlimited opportunities and freedom, exploration and joy. Now it is mostly dead corporate wasteland, it feels. Creating my own ringtone on Nokia Composer. Having a Nokia brick phone with Snake on it that you could blast into the sun and still take calls on. Living my coyote ugly dream, dancing on bars thinking I'm hot shit but likely being an absolute embarrassment to myself and there being no video evidence of it. I turned 21 in 2006 and there was a bar with a mechanical bull and I thought I was the hottest thing riding that. Then I remember how shit-hammered I was and how I always wore halter tops that never quite covered everything. Thank God camera phones were in their infancy then. Someone out here has 4 pixels of your Neopol. Toy stores. Nothing beat the aisles and aisles of stuff at Toys R Us. Nothing beat going to Toys R Us with your Christmas, birthday money. It was like having the world at your fingertips. For $70 you could live like a king. Learning pop culture history from VH1. Pop-up video. Blockbuster. I remember going and putting in my pizza order. Then going next door to Blockbuster, picking out movies and games. Then going to get my pizza, heading home and enjoying the evening. It was an event, an experience. Now I ask my kids if they want to watch a movie. They say they have already watched it on their phone a few days ago. And you scroll, and you scroll, and you scroll, but there just never seems to be anything to watch. I'm only 30 and I miss Blockbuster. I miss physical media in general. I miss actually owning things and not needing to subscribe to everything. Spending all day outside with my siblings until mom hollered for us to come in for dinner. I don't think I would be comfortable leaving my child for a full day outside with no supervision. Or better yet, using the street lights as your alarm to go home. We hit the neighborhood jackpot and still live in a neighborhood like this. Roughly 50 houses with only one way in, out. Most have kids in the elementary or middle school age range with a row of older couples up at the entrance. Everyone watches out for the kids. It's either street lights coming on or the "will you send blank home" on the parent group text as the signal for all the kids to head home. As a matter of fact, we just had to send a neighbor kid back home for dinner. It is definitely not lost on me how rare this is nowadays, and hopefully our kids will be better off for it. Can I ask why? I don't have children, but I'm always wondering why people who grew up with that sort of freedom are afraid to let their own children run free. I would say twofold. 1. The amount of fear and worry pumped into new parents is crazy now, even though statistically things are much safer. 2. Judgment from others. Like the lady that let her 12 years old take the subway and people collectively lost their minds and wanted her child taken away. Lack of knowing what's going on. The 24/7 news cycle is one of the worst things to happen to our society. Why do I need to know about a murder in Texas when I live on the East Coast? Constantly being hit with terrible, horrific news 24/7. It's just killing everyone's mental health. Even local news will do this. I feel bad for the victims, but give me a segment about the teacher, librarian, garbage man of the day. I'd rather hear about unsung heroes in my area. Show some positive news, please. Or neutral news. News that isn't spun to a certain political party. No manipulation, just the facts. Life before 9/11. The world was still far from perfect then, but I felt that the innocence of my childhood died that day, and the reality that the world is a dangerous and unpredictable place really started to sink in. I feel like we've been in a downward spiral ever since. Yep, the optimism that carried over from the 90s went right down the drain. The entire world changed. That first sentence is extremely accurate. Stuff from the 80s could be felt in the early 90s, including music, style, and overall attitude. After 9/11 it was all fear. 9/11 did not kill that world, Bush and Cheney using it to turn the US from semi-trustworthy guarantor of world order to vengeful, fearful, arbitrary killer on a mass scale, that did it. There's no Trump without George W. Bush and Dick Cheney. Osama bin Laden achieved his goals, not by destroying the Twin Towers, but by turning America into its antithesis. Internet being a brief thing you did, not a thing weaved constantly in your life. Going on AIM and chatting with friends felt like actual chats, and brief for 30 minutes. You'd hang out in real life. The internet was just like watching TV. It was just something small and neat. Everything is so digital now. I have a friend who has kids and they like hang out online. When we were in middle school and high school, we'd hang out in real life and only talk online as like a separate thing. It's probably how people in the 70s and 80s chatted on the phone later in the day with friend. Handwritten letters. College student checking in, I still write letters and send postcards, all in cursive. There may be dozens of us. Knowing where your friends are because their bikes are on the front lawn. My parents had absolutely no idea where I was, outside of school anyway. They had no way to contact or track me, I would just roam around the countryside playing with friends. Don't get a girl pregnant, no fights and don't die. I try my damnedest to let my daughters live like this. Edit, the numbers of DMs I got congratulating my girls for not getting anyone pregnant ROFL. Wake up early on weekends to watch cartoons and record some of them, Transformers, Denver the Last Dinosaur, Tom Sawyer, and many others. Edit, I'm amazed and happy by how many people remember Denver. Now I had to add the music to my playlist. Thank you. Our Saturday morning cartoons, a bowl of Cap'n Crunch and some Smurfs. And the roof of your mouth nearly dripping blood, D.